It's not a pep assembly. This is a pretty important message, so we appreciate your attention and respect as Mr. Youngblood speaks to you about some very important things, and I'll let him introduce his topics to you. But here's a little bit about him. David Youngblood has been involved in human rights, civil rights, and public service for his entire adult life. Mr. Youngblood holds a bachelor's degree in sociology, a master's degree in social work, and is a graduate of the University of Minnesota Law School. Mr. Youngblood was commissioned as an officer in the United States Marine Corps in 2003 and was subsequently deployed to Iraq. Mr. Youngblood earned numerous awards and distinctions as a Marine, including the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Combat Action Ribbon, and individual recognition for outstanding leadership potential among his peers. Mr. Youngblood currently works for the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, he's with an organization called Bridge Builders, and they've been going around the Northwest speaking to different schools, and we're very excited to have him here at South Kitsap High School, so please give a warm welcome to Mr. Dave Youngblood.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm very glad to be here. What I want to do is I want to give you an overview of some of the things that we're going to discuss. We're going to mainly discuss four things. We're going to discuss diversity and tolerance. We're going to discuss respect. And most importantly, we're going to have a discussion about leadership. And I think at the end you're going to see how all four of these things I really think are pretty much the same thing. Now I want to make a couple of apologies because I'm sorry, but I'm not a comedian. I'm not an actor. I'm not a ventriloquist. I can't juggle. I'm not going to be able to do anything to visually stimulate you like that. I wish I could, but not only do I not have those skills, but unfortunately, we need to talk about something that's very important. And I want to be able to talk to you as the young adults that you are, in a serious way. And the first thing that we're going to do is talk about what we mean when we discuss diversity. Because we mean something that's very, very broad, and as you're going to see, much more broad than even our initial discussion, because I live in Metro Detroit. I've spoken to students in lots of states, and there is a tendency many times to equate diversity with one thing. Depending on the area, could be something like race. Race is certainly part of our discussion, but there are lots of things that make us unique, and there are lots of things that we could focus on in talking about diversity. But we're not going to focus on anything specific. There's differences, of course, in religions. There's differences, of course, in people with disabilities. There's differences in cultural backgrounds. And, of course, there's differences in races. But our concept is going to be much more broad, because we know that in a school, many times there are differences in the way that we look, the way that we act, the way that we dress. And all of these things can be discussed in our broad view of diversity. Now, all I'm going to do is share a few stories from my life, and I hope I give you a unique perspective on some of these things. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit, because I told you at the beginning of this that we were going to discuss a broad view of diversity. And basically, up until now, we've discussed a very, very narrow view. We've spoken about race and religion, cultural background, disabilities, things like that. That's the traditional view. Those are the things we think about when we think about diversity. But we know that in a school, especially in a school, sometimes those things are the source of tension. Sometimes. But more often than not, in a school, the problem is a simple lack of respect. I'm talking about things like teasing or tormenting someone because they're different. I'm talking about things like going online, starting rumors about your classmates. I'm talking about things like forwarding that disparaging text because you think it's funny, even if it's at someone's expense. You need that laugh. See, the point is, if you are so frustrated in life, if you're disappointed in life with what you have accomplished or what you don't think you will be able to accomplish, you will always be able to find someone to tear down if that's what you need to feel better. I don't care how big you are, how strong you are, how small you are, how weak you are. You will always be able to find that if that's what you need to feel better about yourself, because that's simple, that's easy. You can always find that. What's difficult is to be a leader. What's difficult is to be someone who decides, I'm going to have the courage to stand up and say when something's not right. There's a saying that goes like this: all it takes for evil to triumph in this world is for good men and women to do nothing. So the question you should ask, do you make this school a better place? Is this school safer because you're a student here? Do you stand around and do nothing, or worse, contribute to students feeling emotionally or physically unsafe at this school? And I'm here to tell you, I don't care what it is, anytime you have a passion in life, follow it. Every single time, because you will regret it your entire life if you do not follow your passions. Oftentimes we don't follow them because there's a lot of things in the way. Maybe what others think, maybe schooling, maybe different jobs that we don't really want at that time. But if you have an ultimate goal and it's a passion of yours, allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Remember when I said before that you can say something, voice your opinion. The reason why it's critical to your success is because the decisions that you have to make in life that are key to you being successful are the ones that are difficult. Those of you that have the leadership ability and the courage to stand up and say when something's not right, when something's wrong, when something is offensive, those of you that have the leadership ability to do that now, to do that here, are training yourself to be successful in anything you want to do in life. I don't care what school you want to go to. I don't care what job you want to get. Those of you that have that sort of internal conviction and courage are guaranteed to be successful in anything you choose to do if you pursue your passions. See, what we want you to understand is that this is your school. There are a lot of groups associated with this school. You've got administration, you've got teachers, you've got parent groups, but you, the students, dictate the level of respect at this school day to day. You decide what kind of school this is, both for you and your peers. And we want you to make it a great school. It might already be a great school, a good school, but you can always make it better. But to do that, you have to decide that you have the courage, the leadership, to want to be recognized as a leader, to want to have a positive effect on your surroundings. Leadership is an action word. You can never be a leader if you do nothing. Never. Leadership means you have to do something. It doesn't mean you have to do a lot. Sometimes we think about leadership as meaning a general in combat or the president of the United States. That is not leadership. Leadership is making those day-to-day decisions, especially the ones that maybe we don't really like to do, but having the courage to step up and do them because we know that it's the right thing. That is what leadership means. It's not a position. It's not a title. And many times, you don't have to do much, but you have to do something. Those of you that have the ability to promote an atmosphere at this school that says, when you come here, you better leave your bullying outside. You better leave your prejudice at home. You better leave your disrespect somewhere else because it is not allowed and welcome in this school. Those of you that have the leadership to promote an atmosphere like that at this school, I guarantee that you will be recognized for being a true leader, and you will leave behind a legacy that everyone will remember. That's all I have. Thank you very much.